I would like to, read things and not mess up. Anyways, Act 2 of Kentucky Route Zero. This is a LibriVox recording. Letter, attention, Lula Chamberlain concerning your application. Thank you for your application to the Gaston Trust for Imagined Architecture's annual fellowship. We received a record number of applications this year, over 100 in total, and regrettably we can award only one fellowship position per year. As you know, our review process includes a multi-phase blind committee analysis on portfolio submissions, as well as a careful review by a panel of subject matter experts on each applicant's notability and relevance in the field. We must be extremely selective in our process so as to maintain the standards we've established over our 35 years in operation. Our panel did not select your application. We encourage you to consider reapplying next year. Many young artists and architects reapply for a few successive years before being accepted. Sincerely, Dr. Carl Stone Norden, Architect, Gaston Trust for Imagined Architecture. Below the printed text is a hastily handwritten note. Sorry for the condescending form letter. Love your work. Unfortunately, I just do the mail here. Your... Robert. I don't remember what it stands for. Lula folds the letter up and puts it in her handbag. Lula opens a folder of writing paper on her desk. Lula, to herself, quietly. Dearest Robert, thank you for your kind note. Though it has been years since my name appeared in a gallery program, except as an occasional dusty curiosity in a group show or as the impertinent subject of some misguided retrospective, I continue to... something gratitude, yours in situ, Lula. Rick clears his throat. Busy? It's not important. Oh, okay. Great. Really great. I mean, sorry, that's not what I meant. Did you get my note? About the proposals? I'm still working on them. Okay, gotcha. Well, hey, I'm not here to rush you. So, how did your application go? I was in the mail room and I saw you got a letter back. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry, I just saw... It's fine, Rick, I'm not going anywhere. How's your goldfish? These chapters do get increasingly long, so this is something we have to consider. Act 2, Scene 1. Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. That's what I have to say. This leg's kind of getting stiff now, Homer. Maybe I just need to walk it out. Yeah, it walks good for a lot of things. Oh, Shannon. I'm like, didn't we just pass this place? Shannon, I don't think the Zero operates like the roads we're used to. I don't understand it either. So, what is this place? Conway. It looks like a cathedral. Shannon. Yeah, a cathedral with an office building in it. This is weird, but do you think we're inside or outside right now? Oh. Okay. Very poetic. Well, maybe someone around here has a better sense of direction. There's something funny about the fact that in the first act of the game, Conway gets hurt and then walks more slowly for the entire game. At least for a while. End of the line? Maybe it's still under construction. Well, work seems to have stopped for the moment. Marianne. Well, here you are. Better late than never, I guess. Just unload the whiskey over there by the elevator. I'll figure something out. Shannon. Want to settle a bet? I'm actually pretty busy, but sure, what's up? Can you be both inside and outside at the same time? Wow, okay, is that like a philosophy thing, or are you just lost? Yeah, I guess it's a bit philosophical. Huh, okay. I wouldn't say you're dressed like a philosopher. I wouldn't say so either. Just a hobby then, I get it. I take care of the heating and cooling here and watch the front desk, but at home I do watercolors. Supposed to have a little celebration here at the office, but the whiskey never showed up. I saw your truck and thought, but you don't really look like one of the boys from the distillery anyway. What do the boys from the distillery look like? Never seen the boys from Hard Times? Well, count your blessings, they cut a grim profile. Well, it's clear you're new to this territory. I expect you just mean to be passing through. We're looking for Dogwood Drive. Do you know where that is? Dogwood? Nope. You're going to need to talk to someone upstairs about that, one of the map clerks, but first we've got to get you into the system, so you'll need an appointment with one of the ingestion clerks. Now, let's see. Rick is booked proofreading drafts all afternoon and Wanda's out on a site. Let me go make some calls and see if we have anyone free. There are some books over there in the waiting area, or just take a look around. Have you seen our grotesques? Television is playing what looks like a nature documentary. A hermit crab scuttles across a beach. Its shell is an awkward shape. It must have once belonged to a different crab. The television is playing a cartoon about a bird. The cartoon bird collects pieces for its nest. A scarf, a plastic shopping bag, a bit of a young girl's hair. The nest is warm, but precariously fragile. Three books are piled on the table. A service manual for a sewage pump, some architectural plans for the bungalow, and a slim collection of Japanese death haiku. An envelope is protruding from the bottom of the stack. Tommy picks up the envelope. The envelope reads, Bureau of Secret Tourism. It contains several small handwritten brochures with ritualistic directions to bizarre locations. Which will be important in just a minute. Oh, man. Oh, good. I thought you'd left. People can be so impatient. You never know. Well, I have you meeting with Lula Chamberlain. She's a senior clerk who doesn't usually handle the ingestion process, but she's the only one with room on her plate this evening. My schedule says she's on the 5th floor reviewing some diagrams. The elevator is just back to the left there, on the 5th floor. She's on the 5th floor, right? Nowadays scans the column of elevator buttons. Well, let's stick with the system for a minute. 5th floor. Stairs. Wonderful elevator music. A classic. Well, clerk. Greg is hard at work examining some diagrams, measuring angles with a plastic protractor, and occasionally scribbling numbers in a small leather notebook. Can I help you? Don't answer that. Sorry, we're looking for an ingestion clerk. Oh, no. I'm an interior spatial analyst. I can't help you with that. I think the ingestion clerks have all gone home for the night. Lula might be able to help you. She's pretty senior. You just missed her, actually. She was up here about an hour ago. She's probably back at her real desk now on the first floor. She barely made a dent in these diagrams. Must have been distracted. Speaking of which... Okay, her office is down on the first floor. Sure. Clerk's offices. Rick. Hello? Are you lost? We're looking for Lula Chamberlain. Oh no, she's much too busy. Let's get some of our junior clerks to sort your paperwork first, so we don't waste any of Miss Chamberlain's time. It's a pretty straightforward process. First, you'll need to get a case number assigned. Talk to Clerk Metzstein about that. She's just over there at the end of the room. Happy to help. Clerk Metzstein. Hi, how are you? Fine, thanks. I just need your ingestion card and a list of your last 5 permanent addresses. I don't think I've had 5 permanent addresses. Oh, my sheet has 5 address boxes and it says to fill everything out. Maybe if you fill out a transient subsheet, we can still get it processed. Go talk to Clerk Bohm and he'll get you set up with one. Clerk Bohm is just over there in the corner. Happy to help. Clerk Bohm. Howdy. Here for a transient sheet? No problem. He rummages through some papers on his desk. Happy to help. He opens a few folders and quickly closes them. Looks like I'm out, but I know there are some back in the archive. You'll have to put in a special request with Clerk Macmillan. She's the document czar. Right back at the end of the office there, by the file cabinets. Okay, says Conway. Conway's perfectly happy to be thrown around by the bureaucratic process, it seems. Clerk Macmillan. Documents request. One transient subsheet, please. Happy to help. Just put your requisition form in the inbox and I'll get to it as soon as possible. Requisition form? Yes, and you don't have one? Shouldn't be a problem. They're quite easy to fill out. Just ask Clerk Metzstein and she'll get you sorted. Goodness. Requisition form? No problem. I'll just need your ingestion card to mark it outgoing in my logbook. I don't have an ingestion card yet. Oh, no ingestion card. Okay. That's okay. Just go and talk to Clerk Bohm first and he'll get you set up with one. Clerk Bohm is just over there in the corner. Happy to help. This. Howdy. Here for an ingestion card? No problem. He rummages through some papers on his desk. Happy to help. He opens a few folders and quickly closes them. Looks like I'm out, but I know there are some back in the archive. You'll have to put in a special request with Clerk Macmillan. She's a document czar. Right back at the end of the office there, by the file cabinets. Okay. I'll just give this a little bit more, just to see one more variation of the same dialogue. Documents request. One ingestion card, please. Happy to help. Please just put your requisition form in the inbox and I'll get to it as soon as possible. Requisition form? Yes, you don't have one? Shouldn't be a problem. They're quite easy to fill out. Just ask Clerk Metzstein and she'll get you sorted. Well, it ends here. I'm done. I'm sick of this. We're done here. Can you point us to Lula? Oh, sure. That's her in the cardigan. It's that easy. Thanks, Shannon. Lula, having fun in the paperclip labyrinth. Well, you made it eventually. You look exhausted. I'd offer you my seat, but my ankles are turning on me. Are Arthritis, says Conway. Dr. Truman says my joints are eroding one another. They've been collaborating for decades. It's only natural they want to kill each other now. Well, enough about my hateful wrists and ankles. This concrete bunker of an office is just a waypoint for you, I'm sure. Where is it you're trying to go? We're looking for 5 Dogwood Drive. Dogwood Drive. That's funny. Do you know I used to live on a Dogwood Drive? This was years ago. A grimy old house, basement full of insects, attic full of birds. I had a few roommates. We all worked at the university. I had a dog, I drank whiskey and beer and made sculptures. That Dogwood was a surface road. With a name like that, it would have to be. What are you doing on the Zero? A gas station attendant told us we need to take the Zero to get there, says Conway. Gas station attendant? I see. Friendly blind man about my age, hangs out with an old cat, likes to pretend he's a poet? His name is Joseph. Do you know him? Joseph and I used to work together, and we lived together. We were friends. That was a long time ago. We haven't spoken in years. Do you know how he's pointed you this way? Because he's still in love with me, of course. And now he's implicated you quite inconsiderately. And in your condition. It's appalling. So, I'm very sorry for wasting your time, but I'm afraid you've been misled. Excuse me. Get over yourself, says Shannon. Lula pauses, taken aback. Well, I guess that's fair. All right, maybe I can help you. For Joseph. The Dogwood Drive I lived on is now called Pale Dogwood Drive. They've renamed all the streets, you see. Too many streets with the same names. It was never a problem before, but now we have these databases and it's all too confusing for the computer. The computer has no sense of ambiguity, so it reclaims an error. Name collisions, they call them. So my Dogwood Drive is Pale Dogwood Drive, and another might be Large-Leafed Dogwood Drive, or Himalayan Flowering Dogwood Drive, and so on. But one of them is still just Dogwood Drive, or so we might hope. It's really a matter of consulting records, of which we have in abundance here. You have a record of those streets? I expect you must. They'll be up in Archives and Records, 4th floor. It'll be filed under 0 for odonyms. Oops. O for odonyms, probably. Or G for generic, or maybe S for specific, depending on which part of the street name was changed. Of course, I want to go up, but curious. Let's invade this conference. They don't really seem to mind. Well. Feel bad for crashing this party. Well. We always have friends in bears. See, they ain't pay attention to us, they look at us. Good friends. On our entire floor, composed entirely of bears and what seems to be empty paint cans. What are they painting, these bears? These bears. Well, onto the 4th floor. And nobody's here, of course. Shannon? Damn, this place is a mess. Okay. Take a look through that logbook, I guess. Maybe there's some kind of system to all these boxes. I'll just start digging. Small logbook has a smart leather cover. A few notes are scribbled on the inside covers. Most pages are just lists of titles, names, and dates. Inside front cover. Logbook. Document staff, please do not transfer any more records from the storage unit until we get the new file cabinets in. We're up to F, and that will have to do for now. Instruct clerks to focus on activities beginning with the letters A, B, C, D, or E, or F. or activities most likely to involve research on subjects beginning with those letters. For example, cars is okay because it involves automotive, driving, brakes, etc., but air quality is not okay because it relates to health, safety, pollution, etc. On page 1, several documents relating to sporting competition venues were quickly checked out and back in a cover. What? Checked out and back in over a period of a few days. Basketball courts, baseball fields, alleys, and parking lots. Page 14. A single set of documents relating to coal mining operations was checked out and back in by several different people within a few hours. And the inside back cover. Note and logbook. Failing antique shops folder missing. Listed checked in on page 63, but not present. Doesn't seem to be any use. Nothing? Me neither. Half of these boxes aren't even labeled, and the rest are all of the first few letters of the alphabet. Couldn't find anything with an O, or a G, or an S. Maybe the clerk knows somewhere else we can look. Of course. Back down to the first floor. What a mess. Okay, her office is down on the first floor. Well, nothing? That's unfortunate. Well, they must still be in transit. You see, we've only moved into this new venue somewhat recently, and it's all a bit in progress. This was a cathedral not so long ago, can you believe it? And then the Bureau reclaimed it. The old congregation has been directed to one of our storage facilities for their activity. That's where you'll find the street name mark, as I expect, at the church. Marianne at reception can give you directions. Just come back here when you have the files, and we'll begin the necessary paperwork to have the information analyzed. Oh, and while you're out on the road, you might want to stop and see Dr. Truman about your leg. He's a specialist regarding ailments of the joints and limbs, and I know he works at night. His home office is in a small neighborhood on the east edge of Bowling Green. Here's his card. Do stop and see him. That leg is a miserable sight. Take care of each other. One big circle. All the way around just to get directions for the person you're supposed to talk to first. Do you love bureaucracy? And you love the way it walks you out of the elevator to the side, because it's the same animation depending on which floor you're on. Oh, Marianne. Get what you need. Shannon, be straight with me. What is this place? Just another office lady, just another job. You kicked out a congregation to set up your office? I wasn't here for that, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. Still, I wouldn't judge until I'd seen everything. They've got a new church now. The Bureau set it up for them out of their old storage space. I'm sure it's very nice. Go see it for yourself. Just get back on the zero and drive until you hit the crystal, then turn around. That'll make sense once you get on the road. You can handle it. Drive until you hit the crystal and turn around. You'll see what the zero looks like in a second. Okay, move on. Oh, it's somewhat important to have picked up the old tourist book here. The Bureau of Secret Tourism, Esoteric Excursions for the Intrepid and Curious. All directions start from the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. The river tunnels. These tunnels are a series of arterials excavated by runoff from an underground river which long ago evaporated, now the tangled vessel of marooned echoes. Drive clockwise until you reach a feather. Pause for a moment to consider the cave walls. Reverse direction and drive counterclockwise until you hit the birdhouse. Now turn around again and you're almost upon it. To return, simply find the feather again and turn around. Fittingly, I think the place is supposed to get to is the easiest of the directions, but the rest have a bit more effort. God, I hate to compress any of this. This sounds so good. Love this game's wacky sound design. We can get it to the feather here. Might be on the third rotation. Bicycle. Okay. The feather. Birdhouse, and turn around. And the tunnels. The tunnels are described as a series of arterials excavated by runoff from an underground river which long ago evaporated, now the tangled vessel of marooned echoes. They're surprisingly large. A distant scratching around sound catches Conway's attention from a tunnel leading downwards. Another tunnel runs into the darkness to the left. Let's go left. Shannon and Conway go left. The tunnel widens a bit. The air is cooler here. Oh, go left. A faint mewing reverberates through the tunnel. Go left. A small, ragged cat sits on a ledge carved into a wall. Seeing Conway and Shannon, it darts into another tunnel. Oh. What's that? Find the feather again and turn around. See, if you're smart, you'll be able to go back and just, skip it all. So... the sandwich made of brick. Dosahedron. I might be misremembering, but maybe the 3 Z's just leads you straight back to the... Nah, I'm fine. That might just skip you ahead. Don't actually remember. You know, it's possible the first time I played this game that I just let Shannon take the wheel and then stopped. But I am dead set on seeing all these tourist attractions. Oh, no, stop. The Damaxian Gallery, a gallery of mislaid futures abandoned on lowly highways as American industrial design shifted its gaze to the intangible. Drive counterclockwise until you reach the TV. When you reach the TV, drive clockwise to the antenna, and turn around again and head just past the barn. Return to the bureau, find the TV again, and turn around. Counterclockwise TV, antenna, barn. Anytime now. There we go. You notice the music changes as you progress. It's very cool. The brochure describes this place as a gallery of mislaid futures abandoned on lonely highways as American industrial design shifted its gaze to the intangible. It is a large warehouse full of oddly shaped vehicles, blimp-like, rusted vessels mostly painted in a dull green that is now faded toward brown. No path has been carved to navigate between them, and many have been damaged enough to leave menacing bits of metal running jaggedly through their small open spaces. It's all a visitor can do to stand at the edge of the building, neck craned, trying to get a glimpse of something. You can turn around. I never realized you could zoom in. It's possible I should just proceed past things. Mineral springs. These mineral springs radiate with vigor and sweat youth from the pores of the cave walls, its sweet dampness evaporating and then recollecting on the ruddy faces of rejuvenated bathers. Drive clockwise to the Feather, then come back to the Talon. Turn again, and there you are. Feather, Talon. Sure, by turning around in certain places, you can just take a shortcut from anywhere. Ideally, I'd have a guide pulled up and I'd be able to just find the quickest route between each thing, but I'm lazy and I don't get to plan that, so instead we have to deal with me going in circles. There we go. I'm not going the wrong way, am I? Clockwise. There's hell. We should be coming up on the Feather soon. on this next turn, I think. Bicycle. Feather. Oh no. Still. Back to the Talon. Okay. Turn around again. Cenote, is that a Final Fantasy XIV reference? Come on now, where's the Talon? I passed the fucking bureau. God damn it. And it's possible I looked away and completely skipped it, which would be very funny. But I'm going to trust the process. What it might be? Maybe when I accidentally misclicked and turned back, it might have just reset me. It'd be very funny. Yeah, I think I'm just on the wrong layer. Whoops. Well, I'll be coming back at the bureau in a second and we'll be able to fix this. Font Watcher, skip ahead 10 minutes. Skip ahead 10 years. God. Love the sound design, but when you miss out, goodness. This game is all about patience. Well, now we're coming up on the feather. There we go. As described in the brochure, these mineral springs radiate with vigor and sweat youth from the pores of the cave walls, its sweet dampness evaporating and then recollecting on the ruddy faces of rejuvenated bathers. The air does have a warmth and fragrance to it that seems to relax the nostrils. Shannon encourages Conway to rest his leg in the water. Rest for a while. Conway rests for a while. The water is warmer than it looks and strangely soothing. Think about the day's work. Conway closes his eyes and reflects on the day's work. He awoke at 5. He moved some of Charlie's old books from the barn to Lisette's living room. She liked to look at them sometimes, and he knew this would be a difficult day. He fed Homer. He made a few other small deliveries, picked up a package Lisette had waiting for her at the post office, and then drove out to look for the last address on his manifest. Leaving the spring, Conway finds a few small aquatic insects nestled in his pant leg. He leaves them behind. Feather and turn around. I love these long drives.
I guess that's kind of the point of the road trip, huh? Sort of a talk on the wonderful little spots on American roads where you just kind of go around and it's not even that interesting when you get there. Of course, the point's about the company, right? Well, I found the feather. Now what, huh? No, wait a minute. Whoops. VOD Watcher skipped 10 minutes. Maybe it's getting a bit late for me. Feather, turn around. Of course, if this is the normal path, then that means I'll have to go around 3 more times. I see the television I'll be celebrating. Or the crystal, for that matter. No more coming up on it now. Just one more turn. I do like how these strange paths are almost intentional to try and teach you the root of the zero. It's almost like you could become familiar with this. Oh, the circle of rings. Meditation tunnels. It is recommended as a site for meditation, an introspective labyrinth through which to walk one's concerns slowly, like a breathing exercise. Drive clockwise to the Scarecrow, then turn around and head counterclockwise until you reach the pendulum. Reverse direction once more and keep driving clockwise and you can't miss it. To return, find the Scarecrow again, turn around, and before long you'll be back at the bureau. Clockwise to the Scarecrow, counterclockwise to the pendulum. Sure. I do think the Scarecrow's pretty late in the circle here, though. Good fun. You got a good cup of tea. Scarecrow soon. Wheelbarrow. Come on. Counterclockwise to the pendulum. Shan, that's odd. What? Just, deja vu. It's just this weird road. No, you're right. Just this weird road. Deja vu. The great reveal. It's the cave. And the ghosts. In the cave, the miners. That remains like a permanent thing, the miners, for the rest of the game. Of course, you do hear a lot about rural mining. Anyways. Pendulum, turn around. The brochure for these mossy tunnels recommends taking them as a site for meditation, an introspective labyrinth through which to walk one's concerns slowly, like a breathing exercise. A narrow tunnel extends to the right and another to the left. Go to the left. Conway and Shannon go left. Conway and Shannon enter a cramped passage. A narrow tunnel extends to the right and another to the left. The moss begins to glow. The left. Conway and Shannon go left. Conway and Shannon crawl on hands and knees through a slick passageway. The moss is glowing more brightly now. Left again. Conway and Shannon go left. Conway and Shannon step out into a large open room. The glow of the moss is almost blinding. Left again. Narrow tunnel extends to the right, another to the left. We've gone in a circle. Let's go right. Conway and Shannon crawl on hands and knees through a slick passageway. The moss is glowing more brightly now. A narrow tunnel extends to the right, and another to the left. Right. Left. Conway and Shannon step out into a large open room. The glow of the moss is almost blinding. Moss begins to glow. The glow of the moss is almost blinding. Right and left. Cramped passage. Right, left. Brightly. Large room. Moss is blinding. Right, left. Slick passageway, more brightly. The glow of the moss is almost blinding. Well, let's close our eyes. Scarecrow again, turn around, Bureau. There's a slightly annoying directionality to these tunnels. If you go the wrong way, you're kind of just screwed. Okay. Yeah, see? This loop feels a little bit arbitrary. Anyways, I think we're still in the wrong layer, but we'll get there. What is it, 2 more cycles? 1, 2. It's also interesting to think about this being like an abstraction of the cave the miners had, where they were buying these trinkets to sort of navigate around. It's sort of the same thing. I guess that's just referring to another, like, Boy Scout deal, where you gotta look for all those little landmarks in order to navigate around, and that's helpful. We're just looking for little things. I guess that's also part of the whole ghost deal. We're haunted by these little things. Happy hitchhiking. The Deep Valley, the site of an epic laceration to the very heart of the world, certainly left by some great power, perhaps a casualty in a battle between God and dinosaur. Drive counterclockwise to the bottle, turn around, drive clockwise to the still, turn around, you're nearly on top of it. To return, find the bottle again, and turn around, and head back. There's this YouTube video I watched that just came out recently that was all about dinosaurs, and it was like, hey, dinosaurs are almost a mythology. And I've already forgotten, because I was talking. Bottle, turn around, still. I'm a fool, aren't I? Well, that's not so easy to lose. Place. Here we go. What the brochure calls an epic laceration to the very heart of the world, certainly left by some great power, perhaps a casualty in the battle between God and dinosaur, is more of a rock valley, separating the road from a sheer cliff face. It's difficult to see how deep it runs, and the rock slopes into shadow, but the few dozen lanterns strung across at an interval suggest its scale, larger than a basketball court, but smaller than a financial district. That concludes our tourism. Am I being punked? Maybe I was just on the wrong page. Oh, yeah. Bottle to read. What do you know? I really ought to just reread things. It is a little light. At least we're not too far this time. All I remember was the crystal and then turning around, but I don't remember. What do you know? Act 2, Scene 2. St. Thomas Church. Well, Shannon, is that it? Over there? I don't see any congregation. Maybe it's after hours. Let's see what the janitor knows, I guess. Oh, says Brandon. Here for the night mass? What kind of mass is it? Says Conway. Brandon. Tonight, it's a homily on work and need. Haven't heard this one before. Conway, aren't you the preacher? Brandon. Oh, I'm the janitor. Guess this must look pretty strange. A church without a congregation. When they first moved in here, man, this place was packed. They had a mass every night, too, on Sunday. But it got a bit awkward to fit everyone in, and the numbers quickly dwindled. Once folks started to see it as the thing that was falling apart, they lost their center of gravity and just started wobbling. Then the preacher stopped coming too, but he left his old tapes. Same with the organist. And I found some old acetates in the bureau archives, photos of people in churches, so I kept it running. You do what you have to, right? One way. You'll have a job. We've all got a job. Brandon. Work is play for mortal stakes. That's the title of the evening's homily, in fact. So I guess if you folks aren't here for the mass, you must be looking for the old bureau records. I moved them down to Unit C315 to make room for the mass. It's down at the other end of the building. Same floor. I need to get the night mass started, but you can borrow my keys. Shannon. I'll go. You wait here. Rest your leg. You're looking kind of pale. Brandon. Nice lady. Well, I'd better get this running. Brandon presses play on an old tape machine. Conway listens to the homily. Preacher. There are many days on which we proclaim the value of labor and celebrate the piety of the hard-working through feast or abstinence, recognizing St. Joseph the Worker, who was foster father to our Lord Jesus, and who trained him in carpentry and in the merit of sweat. And this is one such day. On this day we celebrate with the feast of St. Joseph the Worker, and on this day other workers are also celebrating, workers who do not attend Mass, or even one like it, even workers who do not attend a church at all, but who toil with clarity, with dedication, with perspicacity, who do as we do here in our church, inasmuch as they reflect in the activity of God. As we do, they cultivate the earth, and at sundown they call the fruit of their labor very good. Beyond the church, this day is celebrated in remembrance of a violent protest in Chicago, and to honor the 4 martyrs who were unjustly persecuted in its wake, having not only pursued their vocation in their daily labor, but also having pursued their avocation in the form of protest, activism, community building, radicalization, scholarship, and finally martyrdom. Their and our avocation being, as it should be for us all, as members of the church or otherwise, to secure for our fellow workers the right to labor with dignity. So, just as there is no dignity without sacrifice, there is no vocation without avocation, just as the left eye perceives that which is to the left, and the right eye perceives that which is to the right. And these images are summoned, differentiated, and incorporated, and we find in our mind's eye an after-image of divine light. Only where love and need are one, and the work is play for mortal stakes, is the deed ever really done, for heaven and the future's sakes. Okay, that's it. Next, there are some rituals that you and I aren't allowed to participate in, I don't think, and I don't remember them anyway. Shannon. Hi, got it. We were just listening to the sermon. What? I found what we came here to get. The file on street name changes. You don't look good. Let's head back to the bureau and get this straightened out. And then maybe we should go see the doctor the clerk recommended. There's a whole other conversation we could have had, but moving on. Shannon. Jesus, are you alright? What the hell? My leg's stuck. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna pull you out. We have to get you out of here. There you go. Okay, are you hurt? Can you put any weight on that leg? It's all messed up. Here, let's get you onto the tram. There you go. Now, let's see if this thing has power. Hey, old man, look at me. Can you hear me? What happened? Says Brandon. Brandon, I don't know. He collapsed. I think he blacked out. He was mumbling about the old mine for a minute. The old mine where we met. Odd way. Don't let me keep you. We have work to do. Brandon, what the hell are you talking about? We're going to see that doctor the clerk recommended. He hands Brandon the doctor's card. How do we get to this address from here? I don't know. It's pretty tricky going back and forth between, here and there. The bureau's the only way I know. Some of those folks do it all the time. Commuters. Just go back the way you came. Find the crystal and then turn around. Easy as pie. Act 2, Scene 3. Back at the Bureau. Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. Marianne, Conway's leg's gonna fall off. Back so soon? We need to get to the Interstate 65. Lula filed your papers, so you're in our system now. I can process you whenever you're ready to go back. Just let me know. Ready to be processed, says Shannon. She hands the receptionist Lula's card. Can you tell us how to get to this address? We're looking for Dr. Truman. Marianne, of course. This is in a neighborhood just outside of Bowling Green. Get on 65 going southwest. Take a right just past the observatory, just before the river. If you continue north, you'll be there shortly. Here to help. No, I don't think there are more new interactions, but we'll see. The neighborhood at the address on Lula's card has been demolished. In its place is a large museum, still partially under construction. Oh. Another museum. Act 2, Scene 4. Museum of Dwellings. Have an umbrella. Oh yeah, he was talking to his dog. Guy was a weirdo, says Thomas. Doesn't seem that weird, says the museum staff. Didn't see the guy. Tall, kinda stooped over, limping bad. Looked like an old drunk, if you ask me. But they were both drunks, breaking in here looking for a place to sleep it off. Just feel bad for that old dog getting dragged all over by a couple of drunks. Old dog like that should be sleeping on a porch somewhere, but that's loyalty for you. Well, they didn't stay long anyway. Fred. I just assumed they were from the power company. You know how they're always coming by unannounced and messing with this or that. I just shut myself up in my room and waited out. No sense getting involved. How'd they get in? Must have been one of the kids who left the front door unlocked. Something got to be done. Something's got to be done. They run around like animals. You know, that Flora left a can of soda on top of my shelter door and I almost killed myself slipping on that sticky mess the next morning. Something's got to be done. Flora. I heard the man and the lady talking when they first came in, but they didn't see me. What are you doing up that late? Mom lets me stay up all late all the time. She said it's okay. I just was looking for frogs. Be careful with frogs, they'll give you warts. I don't care, I want warts. I think they're beautiful. Besides, it's not true anyway. The area we can navigate here is actually very limited, it seems. Of course, there was plenty to see. James. I guess they must have gone through some papers here. It was in some disarray, and a few folders were pulled out and left on the table. I mean, it wasn't too bad. I only noticed because Diane is such a stickler. She's real organized, I mean. What folders are they looking at? Yeah, mostly stuff about the building site, I guess. They had a list of all the homes relocated here. A list of original residences before we leveled the neighborhood. I guess they were looking for one of the old residents. They pulled out a list of the folks who didn't take the offer, folks who moved elsewhere, but they found that back, out of order, so I guess they didn't find what they were looking for there. Hey, while I have you here, work's kind of slowed down, and it seems like... I know you folks know what you're doing, but it seems like the residents are just kind of settling in. That's the idea. Yeah, I get that, just... What the roof, huh? You just write us a check and we'll finish it right up. I know you've got this museum thing going on, but you don't want us to be slumlords now. You don't want to be slumlords now. Well, let's look at this first. Walker, they were hollering at that empty tent you folks have on display. Huh. Hey, if you ever need anyone to stay in there, I've been in worse positions. Little trailer. Yeah, they came by and knocked on the window, and we had a bit of a talk through the glass. Would have come out, but, you know, shady characters. What do they talk about? They're asking about Dr. Truman, and I told them all that I know about that, which is not very much. Did you see them poking around anywhere else? Oh, sure, they were into everything. Walking around, looking at stuff, talking to people, talking to each other. I guess that's just what it's gonna be like now, living here. I heard them banging around there, and I just stayed quiet. I don't know what they wanted. I just put my headphones on and tried to ignore them, to tell you the truth. Sadie, do you know, at first I thought it might be Hudson walking up to visit. I heard him working on his boat just a bit earlier, just before the storm started. But then I saw the stranger's limping gait and the young woman with him. I knew it couldn't be. I invited them in for a glass of bourbon, which they politely declined, so I just talked to them on the porch for a bit. What's Conway doing? Well, you do you, I guess. What was this stranger like? He was in a bad way. He seemed confused. He was asking about a basketball game. I thought he might be joking. After all, it's not the season. It made his friend uncomfortable, and she changed the subject. She asked about my house. Do you know, I don't believe either of them had ever set foot on a houseboat before. I don't know that the older men had ever even seen an ocean, in fact. It's always been my fondest dream to retire on a houseboat. That's why I accepted your offer and moved in here. It isn't perfect, but what home ever is? And I wish the house would sway a bit. I find it settles my nerves. Well, we have another storm like the last one. He doesn't seem to care. Walker. Sure, I talked to them for a bit. Actually, we talked for a little while. For quite a while. I wasn't busy. I was happy for the company. Seem to sleep. What? Whoa. Can't sleep in a storm like that. I never could. Did you see how they got in? They came right in the front door. It wasn't locked. Security here is kind of shitty. I'm gonna say, but it's a work in progress. Hey, it doesn't bother me. I don't think it really bothers anyone. A locked door in your neighborhood is a pretty weird idea anyway. I'd like to see a bit more work done on that roof, though. There's a steady stream running down the back wall and right through my, this little exhibit thing. Anyway, it was just going like a river all night. It's a damn hazard. You've got wires everywhere. Don't you people have to look around? Anyone to look at this stuff? Be cool if I could read. I think I'm losing my bearings here. Have another drink. Oh my goodness. We ought to get some real chickens in that coop, do some homesteading. None of these folks know how to live off the land, you know what I mean? This is Fred talking, by the way. It's just a display, another kind of dwelling. Yeah, no offense to you guys, I mean. I appreciate what you've all done for us. I think you need to get some real horses in that stable, says Flora. You like horses? Not anymore. Now I like jungle cats. I should get some real panthers in the stable. Good for her, I guess. Thomas, that dog was in nearly as bad shape as the old man, just sort of shrugging along. They found some treats in the doghouse exhibit. It seemed to cheer it up for a bit. The moment I now recall most clearly from their short visit was the birdcage exhibit, says Sadie. The old man stopped to rest, or maybe to think. The young woman had been anxious up to that point, but she stopped as well and examined the birdcage more closely. It seemed to elicit a tenderness from her. She ran one fingernail along the bars of the wire cage, marking out a tuneless scale like a child's xylophone. And they moved on. I was playing in that empty cabin and they came by. They asked about Dr. Truman. I don't know where he went, but I didn't tell them, says Flora. Did you talk about anything else? The lady asked me about my parents and I told them they were upstairs in the greenhouse. Want to hear a weird story? Of course I do. The old man asked me about the cabin. He said it looked like another house he knew, and he wanted to know where it came from. I told him nobody lived there, so he went inside. He took a long time exploring. When he came back out, he told me all about it. What did he find in the cabin? He went upstairs and he also looked around the other rooms. I played with the dog. Well, what did he do upstairs? He looked at some boxes. He looked at the window. He could see the museum better than when he was downstairs. He could tell how it was all put together. In the cabin, too, he could see the shape of it better from up there. No, the part that is weird. He said he went into the basement. The cabin doesn't have a basement. Said he found a secret door in the floor. He found a rope leading down a long pit. He climbed down. It was so long his arms got very tired and he fell into the dark. He hurt his other leg and he couldn't walk at all. So he crawled until he found a garden. The garden was very dangerous. He was trapped for a long time, a prisoner in the garden. He had to sleep there. He woke up on the floor of the cabin. He came back outside and we said goodbye, and I didn't talk to them anymore. I believe that's all that we can see from here. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. And I think this middle section's empty. Yeah. What a strange museum. Let's take this elevator straight out of Infra, or Mirror's Edge. Up we go. In concept. Oh, we're waiting for our dog. Of course. At some point the dog got you to stay in the car, huh? Well, then again, there are a lot of people that sort of complain about that, huh? Good for the dog. Let the dog explore. That old dog in the rain getting pneumonia. It's time for umbrella. George, we were working in the greenhouse and I saw them come up in the elevator. They were lost, obviously. It was obvious, says Annie. Ivy. Oh, of course. I saw them looking at that that odd-shaped building. The rounded metal one. Yeah, that one. House of furniture sort of thing. And I always thought it looked more like a grain bin. Actually, I guess it's sort of romantic. Anyway, they seemed interested in it. Tired, huddling under their umbrellas, they still stopped to examine this strange building. Hudson. Difficult to see or even hear a storm like that, but I was awake and alert, studying the week's forecast. Should even out shortly, I'd say. Pay close attention to the weather. Hard not to up here. The strangers wanted to know how I coped with the exposure. I guess some people never understand the appeal of life on a sailboat. It's tragic, I'd say. Well, then they had to leave. Looking for a doctor, I think. The old man was having a bad time. It was a short conversation. Laura was playing down on the lower level, and we'd been having a glass of wine in the greenhouse. We ducked out of the way when we came in. After all, they were complete strangers. When he came in. We didn't know them, said George. Did they seem dangerous? No, nothing dangerous about them, but you just can't know, can you? How could you? Well, I heard the young woman ask her friend about his job. He's some kind of furniture collector or dealer, I think. Didn't sound like things were going well. Maybe they were here looking for a buyer? Yes, definitely some kind of furniture collector or dealer. I heard him talking about antiques. Ezra is a nice fellow, but let's ignore him for now. I can speak English. There's 1 or 2 more people here. Bert. I didn't see or hear anything all night. I was in the back doing inventory when they came by. Got 30 cases of candles in, and each one of those has got to be individually labeled, you know? But I heard from some of the other neighbors that they weren't up to any harm, just passing through. heard a shout from downstairs. The old man had stumbled in the rain. I stayed inside with the lights off. There's no sense in my getting involved. Oh, I think that's everything. This is going to be awesome to compress. Although, what do I do? Ezra, I saw you folks drive up. I like your truck. What kind of truck is that? We have a couple of them at the shop. This is only the one that runs. This is the only one that runs. Oh yeah, with the truck you've got to keep it up. That's why me and Julian don't use a truck. We just carry the houses. Who's Julian? Julian's my brother. He's got a lot bigger and strong. He's a lot bigger and stronger, and he has more feathers than me. But he's still my brother. Where do you take the houses? Me and Julian take them out of the forest every night, and then we bring them back at dawn before the museum opens. Why do you take them to the forest? This museum is an okay place to live in the daytime, but it's no good at night. Folks just can't sleep in a place like this. When they do, it gives them nightmares, so we take them out to the forest to sleep and then bring them back in the morning. Is your family out in the forest? Oh, no, I don't know where they are. Me and Julian were looking for them for a while, but... Anyway, we have a job to do here now, taking these people out of the forest at night so that they can sleep. Maybe if the rest of them will be like Dr. Truman and want to stay out there, we'll get back to looking. Can you tell us how to get to the forest? Says Shanna. You have to follow the Green River way out east, then hop over to Lake Cumberland. The roads don't go there. But me and Julian can take you. We're just about to go anyway. I've just got to call him over. Yeah. Cook, hey-ya! He says. It's literally can't shout that. I'm sorry. Oh, there they go. From this height, the museum looks like a blocky crater slowly filling with rain. I do think there's quite a bit to explore here, but I don't remember. Diner, an all-night diner by the side of the road. I'll be there later. The lights are off. Cute soils. From this angle, the building looks strange and abstract, like a pile of intersecting boxes or triangles. Flying past at the speed and angle, the farmhouse is invisible among the trees. Its location is only marked by Conway and Shannon's memories. I'll try and see everything here, but I don't exactly remember where we're supposed to be anymore. I could always take a look at the map. From above, the huge swaying tipple looks like a small wooden lattice framing the edge of the mine entrance. Do you think we're supposed to follow the river or something? I want to see the rest of the roads here. A large dirt parking lot surrounds the bait shop. A sign is vaulted above the road on a thin steel bar. Bright, unsteady lights throb from the windows of the shop's back room. Should I just leave all those lights on? A tiny gray figure walks along the side of the road, carrying what appears to be a guitar case. He's followed closely by a smaller shape. A dog? He looks tired. Country church with a pitched roof and three-story spire. A large LED display glows in the parking lot. Behind the church are several dusty metal trash cans, a few of which are opened. We open them. I do like that this area kind of reflects what you've seen and done. It's cute. It's nice. And like everything else in this game, it's very slow. But anyways, I've seen enough. Interesting just how far you're allowed to fly here. You can just fly right off the map. A light in the hills, probably a small fire. A few figures are clustered around a crude network of tanks and pipes. A distance from the air, it looks like a swamp. Vines have grown over the street lamps, flower bushes obscure the streets. A few of the houses have slipped partially into the ground, foundations cracked by underground roots. You're allowed to fly very far. Remember where we are. Well, I guess all roads lead to Rome. Act 2, Scene 5. A forest. If this is a change of pace, you can go fast for once. Not even that far yet to go. It's okay, just take it easy, says Shannon, finally. We've got to get back to the road. Shannon, we will, but we need to get this leg looked at first. Right now, you're in no condition to haul anything out of that truck. And even when we do find Dogwood Drive, why is this delivery so important to you? It's my last delivery. Oh, you're retiring or something? Or sorry. I'm just not as tough as I used to be. Well, just rest up for a minute. I bet you're still plenty tough. How do you come to be with these people? I bet they were pretty wild when they were younger. Well, I like you anyway. One of those strange houses. Shannon, shouldn't be much further now. I think I see where the settlement ends over there. There's some fine-looking trees. Yeah, really nice. You a tree enthusiast? Like birds. Birds like trees. Okay, we can follow that logic. You're in a lot of pain right now, aren't you? I'm just thinking about getting back to work. We're almost there. We'll get you patched up and back in that truck. We can handle this. Have you ever been here in the winter? I bet the lake freezes. Too bad it gets dark so early. Awesome. Shannon, do you have any family you're close with? Brother or sister? Kids? I'm a brother, but I wouldn't say we're close. What does he do? I'm kind of banker. Kind of a jerk sometimes. Yeah, I know the type. Ever talk to him? No, I burned that bridge pretty bad. Who knows? I guess I was always closest with Weaver, as close as someone can be with a girl like that. She was always on her own wavelength, but We were the same age growing up, and everyone else was so busy. When she disappeared, I got pretty angry, but I guess I just stayed that way. Never really understood her, but I knew her. It's lonely without someone like that around. Sorry, you're a good listener. The way of falling behind, don't you? Me, I'm always too far ahead. Maybe I should slow down a bit, like you. Ezra's a real free thinker. Well, Shannon? He's inside with Dr. Truman. Are you coming in? Ezra? Sure, I'll come in. Dr. Truman lets me watch TV sometimes. My folks never watch TV, but I like the way it looks. You said you lost track of your family earlier? Yep, it's easy to get lost, especially out in the woods like this. I never really get lost, though. I just look around for Julian. He's always around. Folks had a really nice house, bigger than any of these houses, but it made them worried all the time, and the bank took it back. I had to sleep at the bus station, but I could never get to sleep, so I just went out to fly around every night with Julian. We flew really far and we never got lost, but when we came back in the morning, they were all gone. They just left you? I don't think so. All their stuff was still there. Maybe they got lost somewhere. We'll see what's on TV. Dr. Truman. And yeah, I think during that exit interview is when I really realized how badly they had me. But how else can you pay for medical school? I have college friends with debts that can't expect to pay that back unless you're planning to sell painkillers on the side or something. Or, some kind of administrative thing? I don't know, but having seen what arthritis did to my grandmother and my best friend in high school destroy his wrists building synthesizers, I mean, he was like 17. Ailments of the joints and limbs just seem important to me. If that answers your question. Getting a scholarship with that pharmaceutical company had a lot of strings attached, but at least I have somewhere to practice, even if I have to follow their market trends a bit. And hey, thanks to all those seminars, I'm an expert on the medical uses of Neripnol trademark. It's not so bad. So, how about that leg? What happened exactly? My leg was crushed by falling rocks. Crushing injury. Yeah, those can be pretty bad. Everything gets all compressed, and there are a lot of little pieces to... You know what? Never mind. Let's take a look. How bad could it be, right? What are they singing about? They're singing about hard times. Yeah, everybody has it pretty tough right now. Even if you just want to go home, you'll have problems. Like it'll be too dark and you'll get scared. It's hard sometimes, but things have a way of working out. Dr. Truman's going to help your friend. He'll be okay. This way. Dr. Truman, but it's nothing we can't handle. You might have a few things to look out for in the future. Be a bit gentler with the leg or the way you walk, but you'll be okay. I've dealt with similar cases before. So the anesthetic we'll use is called Neripnol. It's pretty experimental, but it's more appropriate in cases like yours. The way it works is, I'll count backwards from 5 to start the process, and I'll just have a normal conversation as the Neripnol takes effect. Then I'll get started. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, let's talk about billing for a moment. The pharmaceutical company I'm contracted with was recently... company... Well, it seems to have lost all the text. End of Act 2. So again, they only really get longer from here, and I'll be playing Act 4 twice, so tune in next time for the entertainment.